Radio Network. Make sure you tune in. We are Facebook Live right here from Whittier College as the Los Angeles Scorpions will take on the SoCal Coyotes. Art, I look at the last game between the Sharks and the SoCal Coyotes, and I think to myself, was that a game or was that not a game? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, when I saw the score, I think I had to do a double take to see if it was real. But yes, 73-0. What a victory for the SoCal Coyotes, making a statement here at the WBFL.
It's an amazing time. I was not at the game. I did listen to it on the SoCal Coyote Network, and I thought to myself, this cannot be just about Todd Marinovich, even though he is a former USC Trojan, former Raider, and retired now at 48 years old. Do you think to yourself, was it all him and that offensive line, or do you think the defense had something to do with it to give them that surmounting victory?
The offensive line provided time for him, defense as well, making plays. They have a very good team out there, and they'll be tough to beat today.
Well, we're definitely going to see here as kickoff is about to ensue right here from Whittier College. This is Rudy Reyes. Art Eftekhari will do your play-by-play. This is an interesting day from a weather standpoint. It was a little hot here and there, but we now have some cloud coverage, so perhaps that'll give somewhat of an advantage and a cool-off, especially for those SoCal Coyotes that come from the Indio, California area where it's extremely hot, and the LA Scorpions where they'll play basically anywhere. So it's kind of a treat for the Coyotes as far as the temperature standpoint. But I look for a great game today. Scorpions are 0-1, and the SoCal Coyotes at 1-0. So as kickoff ensues here, let's see what happens on this kickoff. Looks like a muff punt here. You know, it was a little bobbled right there by Claiborne, but that sets them up with basically decent field position. Yeah, 27-yard line is not a bad place, but you can actually thank the kicker for the field position there because it could have gotten a lot deeper. This is Rudy Reyes, Art Eftekhari right here on the Los Angeles Scorpions Radio Network. Make sure you tune in. We are live at Whittier College. Everybody should come down, check out the action. Again, cloud coverage makes it for a little bit cooler of a day, but we're going to find out what the Scorpions are made of right here as the game starts. I look at this game and I think to myself, this is a Scorpions game to win. They can't afford to lose this to go 0-2, and of course would be nice to get a victory right here at Whittier College today. It's a newer facility. There have been some new amenities added to this college as well as the field, and we're certainly going to find out what the Scorpions do as it's now second down with the loss of one. Claiborne getting early and often comes off the field. A little hobble as he exits. We're going to find out if that requires some ice. He's going to have to sit down there as it does not look very good, but they acquired 5 yards off of that particular possession. So this makes a very interesting third down call here. Is it short? Is it on the outside? Biggest question is, what do they do on this particular down? Yeah, this is a definite punting situation. It's fourth down. That throw was low and down, and I don't. Well, it looked as though he had the ability to get the ball off in a timely manner. The ball was just thrown a little bit too low to the ground, forcing the Scorpions to punt here. Let's see what type of action they get off of this punt. Situational football needs to get this done a lot sooner or later with almost not enough men lined up at the line of scrimmage, which is something you just can't do.
take it about at their own 39-yard line.
That was a great tackle by Mindoro, who just watched it from the beginning.
Harrington on the punt return for a 3-yard return, 1st and 10 for the Coyotes from their own 42-yard line.
Mindoro just sniffed that one out, and it looked as if the runner was about to shake and bake and try to get around on the outside, but Mindoro had his number the entire time. So SoCal Coyotes will take over on their own 42-yard line. And as I look at the Scorpions, I think to myself, this is a must-apply pressure situation defensively for them to force a 3-and-out. As we know, defensively last game, they had a lot of great things going on for them early and often.
And quarterback Michael Carl back to pass. Actually, I'm not really sure who he was throwing to, but incomplete. That looked like it could have been picked off. Terrence Peters, who had an interception last week, already involved in that play.
Well, he sniffed it out. He was slightly out of where he should have been,
2nd down and 10 for the Scorpions.
but well enough alone for the Coyotes. It just appeared as though the pressure was on him, and he certainly could have done a little bit better on that play to get the ball out in a more of a timely manner, because it was just not there. Something was not there, but Peter certainly wanted to sniff that out. Let's see what they do here on 2nd down.
Carl with the handoff. Looks like he's running into a wall there. Good job by the Scorpions defense. 4th and 3rd down and 8.
You know, Shiloh Leafy just wondered if he was going to go anywhere or not, and it looked as though, again, another sniff-out defensive stop, something they needed desperately.
Dylan Peebles with the carry for a 2-yard gain. Tackle made by Shiloh Leafy. 3rd down and 8 for the Coyotes.
This is an interesting 3rd and 8 call by the Coyotes. I wonder what they do here. They do have a back offset in the backfield, so I'd like to see exactly what, when, how, and why as they move the chains. That is a 1st down for the SoCal Coyotes. It just doesn't look that the Scorpions were in position to really make a play on that ball. It makes you wonder what the Scorpions were really looking at. They had lots of great protection downfield. It just didn't appear as though it was enough.
1st and 10 for the Coyotes from the Scorpions 43-yard line.
Yeah, Scorpions certainly trying to get away with something more than allowing 1st downs here by applying the pressure early and often. That was a big-time overthrown ball, and I do not see Marinovich under center at all.
Incomplete pass intended for Devin Blackman. 2nd and 10 Coyotes.
And what you really do have, if you're the Coyotes, is basically a backup quarterback in Gary Young, which is really interesting because he plays linebacker out of Bemidji State University. So where Marinovich is and if he'll play is another story. But I don't see him on sidelines right now.
Yeah, it doesn't appear to be there. I mean, I think a lot of people were expecting to see him play. But either way, he just went deep there. Now being 2nd and 10. Let's see what Carl does here. Now on the delay, basically no gain there. Good job there by the Scorpions defense. On the carry there is Dylan Peebles.
You know, I have no issue with the Scorpions.
No gain on the play. 3rd and 10 Coyotes.
I have no issues with what the Scorpions are doing defensively. They have a solid run defense. They're stopping them. But what I'm really concerned with is that short yardage situation where the other team certainly needs to have 8 yards, they get 10. And a dink and dunk, almost like a West Coast offense in the NFL. This is the WDFL. This is Rudy Reyes and Art Eftekhari right here announcing the Los Angeles Scorpions on the LA Scorpions radio network, playing the SoCal Coyotes as now being in a very interesting situation. Was able to convert there, making people miss on the inside down at the 20-yard line. That was a huge completion for Gary Young, taking over under center for the Coyotes. That's 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line.
Big in there, about a 23-yard gain on the pass to Devin Blackman. 23-yard gain on the pass to Devin Blackman. 1st and 10 for the Coyotes.
Yeah, this is not the red zone defense that you really need to have here. This is a must-stop, at least a pick-six opportunity for the Scorpions. Can they do this? Can they find a way to get into the head of Gary Young, who's filling in for Todd Marinovich, now downing it at the 15-yard line, maybe moves forward for a 6-yard gain. Interesting call there by the Coyotes as they really try to chew up a little bit of that field, pieces at a time. We're talking about how the Coyotes have been doing this. And, again, this is their early season. I mean, by no means are we going to 20 or 16 games, for that matter, as they do in the NFL. But even in the short period, they're chewing up what they really need to do. Michael Carls with that stop. And, of course, another great defensive stop, a stop right up the middle. And you could get any better of that from Dominic Price, who just sniffed that out entirely and really disrupted the flow.
Very nice play there by Price. They really need to clamp down here on third down. Dylan Eagles to carry for a 2-yard loss. Tackle made by Dominic Price. Third down for the Coyotes.
David Robeck come hobbling off the field. That is not what you want. That guy is such a key cog defensively and, of course, on the offensive side of the ball here. But hopefully it's something medical attention will get him attended to on the sidelines to be able to create an opportunity for him to get back on the field. But here we are with a third and short situation, and managed to convert there.
For a 7-yard gain, actually to Garrett Harrington, lining up and playing out of a slot.
When you put a guy like that in the slot, Harrington just makes things happen.
8-yard gain on the pass to Jared Harrington. First down and 10 for the Coyotes. First and goal for the Coyotes.
This is a prevent D situation, and again, because Marinovich not here, Young is really going to have to take up the slack for what you're seeing right now. And there's too many men and not enough good play by the corner. That is a touchdown by the Coyotes. Finding Drake Martinez in the right-hand back corner of the end zone. It is 6-0. Scorpion. The Coyotes. And I think to myself, do they go for two? And if I were them, I probably would. Scorpions just had terrible coverage at that point. Javion Davis really looked like he was not put in a position to where he could actually make a play on the ball. I think he got tripped up there and back in the end zone, in turn not be able to defend the pass. We're going to find out if there's a two-point conversion here. Art, what did you see on the Coyotes' ability to really march down the field here and get that score?
Well, they got everything going their way right now. You're seeing good protection. The Scorpions brought the blitz there, but Carl's able to get that pass off. Now he gets into the end zone for a two-point conversion.
Scorpions were completely fooled on that one altogether. That was a perfect strike offensively by the SoCal Coyotes. They just marched down the field. They knew where they wanted to go. They executed with a backup quarterback, and that's something that even without Todd Marinovich as a part of this, at least at this point in the game, makes you wonder what's in store for them as they now are set to receive the kickoff after scoring that. And it was a very long drive, starting back at the 41 for the SoCal Coyotes. But now it is 8-0. The Scorpions really have to answer here, really have to make a statement and get this done, because if they don't, they're going to find themselves in a very deep hole offensively, and the scoreboard will reflect just that.
I think that first and foremost, they got to start. They got to get some first downs. They got to move the chains. They got to eat up some of the clock. And now it looks like with onside kick, kind of surprising, but good field position though for the Scorpions on that one. Kind of a surprise.
Yeah. Real interesting way to start there if you're the Coyotes to kick a near onside little squib off the tee. It gives the Scorpions hope. What it also gives them is very good field position, because when you start at the 48-yard line instead of the SoCal, and very questionable by the Coyotes to even kick that ball in a short distance situation where you're trying to prevent that team from getting into the end zone, and by kicking that ball deep and far down should enable you the ability to stop them early to get the battle of field position truly won on your part.
Definitely, and you got to see how the offense does. Last week, the offensive line for the Scorpions had some trouble. Now, quickly, that should already be a 5-yard penalty for encroachment against the Coyotes. So this is a good start here for the Scorpions. They want to, get started off on a positive note. Go from 1st and 10 to 1st and 5. That's a bonus.
That's exactly what you want, and apparently it's going against. Nope, it's going against the Coyotes, which is originally what I thought, sending them back 5 yards even further. That's an unnecessary penalty, but you know what? Higginbotham did a fantastic job on that side trying to draw them off. Whether it was intentional or not, I don't know. And it looked as though the Coyotes were looking to get that pass rush early and often to get into the backfield, and ultimately the mind of Higginbotham. Now they find themselves on a 1st and 5 situation. That was sniffed out. It appeared as though it was a busted play. It's exactly what it was, Art.
Higginbotham on the keeper for a 1-yard gain. 2nd and 4, Scorpions.
This makes you wonder if Christie was the opportunistic option there. I don't know. I really question that play altogether. And now it's you can't get in a position where you're getting great field position and do nothing with it. This can't be the case for the Scorpions, and now facing a 2nd down and basically a long. It could be a long for them, especially the way the SoCal Coyotes are lined up right now. Crowley line of scrimmage. They have a 5 in the box. Someone's backing off. I think it was a falsehood and sniffed out that option run. Not good for the Coyotes now facing a 3rd down and now a very long 3rd down. But they can find a way to get out of this. Question is how do they do it and what play call do they make to get it done?
They gotta have something ready. I mean, right now, since they're not getting a lot of, because it seems like they're losing a battle in the trenches right now.
Well, you can't lose at the line of scrimmage. I mean, you have to own it. It's yours.
1-yard loss in the carry, 3rd down and 5 for the Scorpions.
You can't lose the battle at the line. You have to own it, and if you don't own it, they will own you. And right now, that's what it looks like early on here as a high snap ensues with number 2 taking it for another almost a no gain whatsoever. Now that brings up a 4th down.
Catch made by Richard Mindoro. No gain on the play, 4th down and 5 Scorpions.
It's going to be an interesting play call for 4th and 5. And if you're the Scorpions, you need to keep momentum here on your side. You need to go for it, but you have to create a play call that will enable you to do just that, to get that 1st down. Question is how do they do it, and what play call do they make? Is it something effective? Will it be something that's maybe a little trickery on the part of the Scorpions offense? I'm really dying to see what they're going to do here.
Well, they got 4 receivers lined up. Got Richard Mindoro, who just made the catch, as well as James Henderson. Now here's Higginbotham back to throw. Looks like he had Mindoro, but a little bit too high behind. Turnover on downs.
That is not good field position.
For number 2, Richard Mindoro. Turnover on downs. SoCal Coyotes will take over from their own 48-yard line.
Again, the battle of the field position is something you just cannot give up. And right now they have given up a lot. Trying that 4th down and 5 looked not so very good of a play call. I'm wondering what that thought process was. I know there were 4 wideouts. I know you're trying to create a 1st down opportunity. Biggest question is because he was covered so well, there wasn't enough pressure on you as a quarterback, so in turn you'd be able to make, again, a run option possibility for yourself and for your team. And that was sniffed out well by the Scorpions, but allowing a very minimal gain there. That was a 5-yard gain by the SoCal Coyotes. On a 3-yard gain. That was a hard-fought 3 yards. They could make this a 2nd and forever if they apply that same type of pressure they did on the very last play, only allowing minimal amount of yardage to be picked up by the SoCal Coyotes. But we're certainly going to find out what this Scorpions defense is made of. Is a pass protection there? What do they do to prevent a first down here on a very, timeout is called by the Scorpions, first timeout of the game.
Timeout. Los Angeles Scorpions with their first charge timeout. It will be a 30-second timeout.
It just makes you wonder what that was, who was out on the field, who was not out on the field, and what they were calling defensively. And again, we're talking about situational play calling offense. Last game against the Sharks, they were first and goal. They were right there, ineligible men on the field, too many men on the field, and they sent them back out on a first and goal on about their 15 or 20-yard line. So it just makes you wonder if they had that corrected, and if so, what type of correction do you really foresee them making as that timeout is called?
Hard to say right now. All I know is I saw number 99, Vincent Indoro, putting his hands up towards, kind of like shrugging his shoulders towards the sideline, saying, "Why are we calling timeout?" So when you see that, kind of raises some question marks there.
There are a lot of question marks so far in this game. I don't necessarily mean by the Scorpions, but by the Coyotes as well. There were some play calls that were relative busts, but the Scorpions, I think, are doing a much better job from a defensive standpoint because of the amount of pressure they're able to put on that front seven to blow up the opportunities for the Coyotes to really do anything offensively as far as taking long downfield strikes, as an example.
Right now, it looks like they have their nickel defense and expecting lots of passes. Let's see how the Coyotes adjust that. That was a 3-yard gain on the run. And it'll be actually 3rd down and 4 now for SoCal. And that was the give was given to on that carry to Dylan Peebles.
There are a few yards.
3rd down and 4 for the Coyotes.
There is a serious situation here, and of course, you've seen Shiloh Leafy running off of the field. We're going to find out what they can do to prevent a first down by the Coyotes. Of course, they let them in, and that turns out to be a 4th down. And will the Scorpions actually do that? That came up incomplete. Yeah, it looked as though Martinez was out of position as that ball was being thrown. So great defense, it was a good, solid man zone, and that's what the Scorpions were able to really put on the SoCal Coyotes, as you witness. And, of course, the weather really still hasn't changed a whole lot. It's no more cloudier than it was when the game first started. But right now, with 2:48 left in the first quarter, this is a 3rd and could be forever unless somehow the Coyotes find a way to get the first down.
4th and 4 here on the pass. It was completed, and that will be enough for a first down.
Yeah, timing there was just not your friend. And
Blackman on the catch for a 7-yard gain. 1st and 10 for the SoCal Coyotes at the Scorpions' 40-yard line.
it looked as though Cole was a little bit late getting over there, trying to provide better coverage, and I just think that he was out of position, playing a little bit too soft. I don't know what the rules are of engagement from a 5-yard to, in the NFL to a 7-yard in WD. There's really no way to make that indication as to whether or not that was just out of balance, out of play call. But I'll be honest with you, when I look at the shake and bake move, the Scorpions really tried to apply the pressure. They were out of position as Devin Blackman is just chewing them up. And 7 yards. It's a 2nd and 3. Again, if you're the Scorpions, you need to find a way to apply the pressure, not miss tackles, which can really be a serious problem if it's not corrected, especially for the Scorpions. Right now, the SoCal Coyotes are doing the exact same thing they did on the last position, and that's driving the ball down the Scorpions' throat, trying to, again, chew the clock, get those first downs, and obviously get to another score in the end zone. And that was another missed tackle, and it looks as though number 6 will find his way into the end zone, and yes, it is. Drake Martinez, again, finding a way to break tackles, getting into the end zone, making this a 14-0 contest. SoCal Coyotes just taking advantage of poor tackling here. We just got done talking about situational play calling. You cannot miss tackles on a situation where you had them back behind the 50 in a short yardage situation, giving up another first down. And then on that possession, giving up another first down or close to first down. And right now the Coyotes just running the tables on the Scorpions here with a 2-point conversion oncoming. I don't see any kick formation at all. Scorpions really need to find a way to either disrupt this or a pick six opportunity could ensue.
Michael Carl on the conversion attempt again.
That was a failed attempt.
Again going for Martinez.
Martinez was caught a little bit
Coyotes
too soon there.
conversion attempt on the pass intended for Drake Martinez. 14-0 SoCal.
It's 14 points, but don't forget something like this very similarly happened to the Scorpions in the last game, where they were down throughout the entire game, came back to get the lead, and then somehow lost it again and could have ultimately won the game. But again, we're talking about situational play, situational offense, situational defense. Right now, I've just not seen it from the Scorpions.
You can see that they're wanting to put the pressure on there. But right now, like you said, the biggest key is to miss tackles. I mean, Drake Martinez makes that catch. When you talk about yard after the catch, he really demonstrated his skills with yard after the catch right there.
Right, exactly. And Martinez, again, just slightly out of position. And I think to myself, where does this stand? Where does the SoCal Coyotes play a role in just getting another score before the end of this half, the end of the quarter with 1 minute and 19 left? And what do the Scorpions do to answer the call? Do they find a way to get this ball ran down all the way to the end zone for some type of score before the end of the first quarter? And then another squib kick here by the Coyotes that was bobbled. And it looks as though Jonathan Hollins found a way to grab the ball at the very last second, falling to the ground on it. You know, as I watch this game ensue, a gentleman who kind of sticks out to me, a new addition, and we're going to talk about Daryl Vergis, who was on the New York Giants roster until he was released, now signed on to the Los Angeles Scorpions. I had a chance to interview Daryl Vergis. He's been an underdog. He's been an underdog his entire career. He came out of Lynchburg University, and I think that he's a welcome addition. He's a bruiser. He's a hard-nosed runner. He's got good cuts. He's a big guy. And I look for him to make some type of impact as he enters the game behind Higginbotham. Biggest question is, what do they do to incorporate Daryl Vergis in this run or pass game situation? We're going to find out what happens here on this particular down. Daryl Vergis gets this run, of course, bottled up behind the line of scrimmage. That looks like it would go for a 3-yard loss on that play.
Daryl Vergis on the carry for a 3-yard loss. Second down 13 for the Scorpions.
I don't think there was enough room. I don't think there was any daylight for him to run through. There was stiff defensive push on the offensive line of the Scorpions, disabling them from being able to basically do anything on that play, which is now a second and seems like forever for the Scorpions, at least for the moment.
Right now we got to look at the offensive line. Starting this game, we have Danny Gutierrez, left tackle, David Rebecca, the right tackle. Sione Teo is one of the guards, left guard, and Sherman Jackson at right guard. Robinson taking the snap at center. It looks like Vincent Mindoro has had to go in for Sione Teo, possibly an injury. There's a pass by Higginbotham, really quickly getting it out, intended for Devin Christie, but now Scorpions find themselves in a third and long 13. It just keeps getting harder and harder.
You know, you put yourself behind the 8 ball, and that's exactly what they're doing right now.
Third down and 13 for the LA Scorpions from their own 28-yard line.
Right now, when I look at Higginbotham, I just don't know that he's that comfortable under center in this game so far. That was a wobble throw. It wasn't batted at the line. Nobody had their hand up. There was no, and it called another timeout.
That is the end of the first quarter. SoCal Coyotes 14, Los Angeles Scorpions 0.
Defensively, situationally for the Scorpions, it's been more, well, missed than hit. Missed tackles on kick returns, bobbled pickups on kick returns, and offensively just not getting the ball out in a timely manner, enabling any player to not only get a hold of it, but Higginbotham, again, just not look very comfortable under center. Scorpions going to have to find a way to really put the pedal to the metal and find a way to score here as the second quarter is going to start.
They have playmakers. They have their wide receivers. We haven't got to mention all the offensive starters yet. We just talked about the offensive line. Let's talk about some of their playmakers. For wide receivers, you got Levant Claiborne and Armand Claiborne getting a lot of time, a lot of snaps. On the other side, you got Richard Mindoro and James Henderson. So there's our four wide receiver playmakers there. We know they can make some plays. Let's also not forget about running back Devin Christie, who had a touchdown last week against the California Sharks. It was a 31-yard touchdown run. And we just mentioned the starting wide receivers, but you also have even Kinnick Sanford, who had a touchdown catch last week. They got to get these guys involved and maybe even bring in fullback, and also, he also plays a linebacker, number 23, Shiloh Laifi. Can they get something going? If Higginbotham can't get the chains moving, he might want to bring in possibly backup quarterback Justin Durden or even Josh Mawton.
Josh Mawton, certainly a guy that I've seen throw, and he's good. Higginbotham just not look very, very comfortable with again, an overthrown ball to Levant Claiborne.
Intended for Levant Claiborne. Fourth down from 13 for the Scorpions.
Yeah, I don't know that Higginbotham is your guy in this situation. You're now in a fourth down scenario. The second quarter has ensued, and it just makes you wonder, what are they going to do here to create a first down yardage? It's a long fourth down, at least based on what the SoCal Coyotes have done up to this point.
Well, first of all, they're going to have to punt this ball. They need to give Coyotes unfavorable field position. Hopefully Dominic Price will get a good punt. But yes, you got a wide receiver, Claiborne, wide open. Now this punt here, a wounded duck. It does take the Scorpions bounce at the 30-yard line, and actually only about a 5-yard return. And that right there is Armand Claiborne making the stop.
Yeah, two Claibornes on the team makes you wonder if they're related, and if they are.
Joshua Meyer on the return for a 5-yard return. Coyotes will start at their own 35-yard line, first and 10. Tackle made by Armand Claiborne.
It looks like it's a Claiborne fest here. One knows how to play a lot of good defense, and the other Claiborne knows how to create a lot of stops. That was a near shoestring tackle, and disabling the Coyotes from really gaining good field position with just that 5-yard carry after that kick return. So, again, situational offense, situational defense, and right now the Scorpions are behind the 8 ball in a very, very big way with 14-16 to play. SoCal Coyotes are so far leading this game in a variety of ways, 14-0. I look for them to get something started defensively. They need to do they really need to do a variety of things. First of all, better pass coverage against the SoCal Coyotes. Better tackling efforts. I've seen lackluster of that so far in this game. A lot of critique, nothing good coming out of this so far. What do the Scorpions do to disrupt the Coyotes' momentum here on this drive?
I'm taking a look at the personnel here for the Scorpions. Trying to wonder what I'm seeing here. Now, with the quick pass, catches made, should be about a 7-yard gain on the play. So 2nd and 3 coming up already for the Coyotes.
Yeah, it looked as though Devin Blackman had really nowhere to go.
For a 7-yard gain, 2nd and 3 for the Coyotes.
It seems
Their own 42-yard line.
it seems as though the quarterback really has a place in his heart for Blackman so far in this game, as well as Martinez. You see those balls go to them in a variety of ways. But again, it's about disruption. That was about as good of a disruptive play by the Scorpions as you'll probably find so far in this particular matchup. But that was a bottleneck. That was stopped clearly by Terrence Peters of the Scorpions being able to apply the pressure, get shake out the nerve, shake out something, shake it up a little bit, do something different here. Do something different here for the Scorpions. Again, looked very good last game against the Sharks. Really need to find a way to do the exact same type of disruption as it looks as though Higginbotham's getting a little bit more reps here on the sideline, trying to get a little bit more comfortable under center. I'm not quite sure that he's a quarterback of the future here. I'd like to think that he is. But again, then there's the lackluster type of tackling there. But finally taken down by Aaron Cole, who seemed to be able to hold on to his jersey long enough to get him to the ground. Again, yards after catch, those can't happen, and it was minimized on that particular play. So, but again, Coyotes are moving the chains. It's something that they did last game against the Sharks, and they're doing it here again today, this time to the Scorpions. And I want to see what type of defensive schemes they have here to really make that quarterback uncomfortable, who seemed to just, and with those missed tackle by Mindoro, another missed tackle by Michael Andrews. It just, again, it's fundamental football here, ladies and gentlemen, something that has to be done. It's those real quick turns, the whole shuttle. And that's one of the reasons why you go through the NFL, they have a shuttle cone situation. That's pure shuttle right there. He's able to move the slight turn off to the right on the inside, being able to get just a few more yards, and that's exactly what all of these receivers are doing in every single catch situation from the quarterback of the Coyotes so far in this game.
Right now, the way this is going, you really need to. I would like to see Scorpions come up with a stop, force them to punt, maybe force them to take a long field goal, but they just keep on moving the chains, and that right there is good enough for another first down.
I'll tell you what, when I look at Aaron Cole, again, missed tackles, missed opportunities. I'll be honest with you, missed tackles are missed opportunities. That's really what they are. Missed opportunities to get the other team to be put in a very uncomfortable situation. Something needs to really happen here. Something needs to occur. Some better defense needs to happen. Again, fundamental football, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rudy Reyes, Art Eftekhari, right here on Los Angeles Scorpions Radio Network. That was a long pass thrown, and it looks as though Martinez really tried to reach up and grab that ball, but failed to do it. It was a slight overthrow by the quarterback. Pure and simple. He had him dead to rights. It was just a drop ball, a little too much mustard on the hot dog, and it just slipped right out. So it just makes you wonder if they're going to go for it all. This is a situation where they're leading comfortably. It is a 2-touchdown situation. Do they just continue to wear down the Scorpions' defense? And it seems that they've been on this field forever. On an average, you're going to find a defense on. They're on for any more than 32 minutes any given game consistently without forcing the 3 and outs, makes for a very long day, and you get tired very, very fast. That was so close, but we were talking about missed opportunities, and that was not missed by Aaron Cole, who found a way to disrupt that play at the last possible second. What a play. But when you look at it, it was thrown into double coverage, and it almost a playable ball by Aaron Cole, being able to pick that ball off at the last second. Just wasn't so, it falls to the ground. That is incomplete. So, again, with the clock at 9:44, we're looking at this game from a different perspective here because the Coyotes are leading with 2 touchdowns. This is not an insurmountable lead to come back from. It just isn't. But the way the Scorpions have been playing offensively as well as sometimes defensively just makes you wonder, are they going to find a way? And there is, instead of a tackle, decides to block with a huge first down gain inside of the Scorpions' red zone target at the 19-yard line. That is not what you want. If you are the Scorpions, you have them in very comfortable surroundings. That is certainly not something that you want to happen if you are the Scorpions. Again, they're marching down, they're moving the chains, being creative offensively for the Coyotes is something that they're accustomed to doing, whether they had Todd Marinovich under center or not, because right now Michael Carls is just making it look very easy.
He's got plenty of time. Offensive line doing a great job. And even right now, he's rolling out. He's almost going to throw against his body, and here he is making the pass, incomplete, double coverage, little risky, but they still have the ball. He threw it hard enough that did not get intercepted.
You know, Josh Moten had a solid play on that ball. Again, it was a double coverage situation, and it's not as though it was improbable to try to get that ball and pull it down. It just was a throw out of pocket. It looked a little too high to be grabbed and picked off, but good thing for situational defense here, at least in the red zone for the Coyotes. Biggest question is whether or not they can prevent a touchdown and just give up 3 points. Or again, this is not 28-0. This isn't 73-0. This isn't 54-0. This is only a 14-0 contest so far in this game. But we're going to find out what the Coyotes do to mix and match here as the Scorpions are possibly disguising a blitz. And it looked as though that was fantastic. It was not quite sniffed out like you would think. That helmet had fallen off with a little scuffle into Aaron Cole, had his helmet fall off there.
Quarterback Michael Carl on the carry for a 7-yard gain. Calculated by Aaron Cole will be 3rd down and 3, SoCal.
That was a hard-fought 3 yards. I can tell you that when I look at Michael Carls, the guy just got out of the pocket. He scrambled effectively, enough so to give them even better field position now inside of the 15-yard line at the 12. So, again, going back to situational defense, the closer the Coyotes get, it seems that the Scorpions are trying to clamp down even better than in the last 2 possessions for the Coyotes.
Looks like you're at about the 13-yard line with Carls with a handoff to Peebles. He's got plenty of space. He's got a 1st down and more. He's in for the touchdown.
That was another missed tackle. They are running the tables right now against the LA Scorpions in a 20-0 contest. And we're talking about this game. We're talking about what these guys needed to do. Missed tackles, missed opportunities, and right now this could be an out-of-reach situation for the Scorpions being down 20-0. And it just, you're shooting yourself in the foot when you don't follow the fundamental things. And you learn these things from Pop Warner. You learn at 7 years old. You learn at 12 years old, 13 years old. You play football in high school, junior high. Missed tackles will hurt your team. And right now it's exactly what they're doing as the Coyotes decide to go for 2 here on this snap. And do they convert? And they do. That is 2 points now. The score is 22-0 on the Los Angeles Scorpions Radio Network. This is Rudy Reyes and Art Eftekhari to and I look at this game and I think to myself, these guys are tired out there right now. They've played more defensive snaps than the offense is, as something that we were talking about in the last game between the California Sharks. Where do these guys go when it comes to being worn out, being tired? Where's the effort? Where's the desire? Where's the passion for the Scorpions right now? I'm just not seeing it. I'm not seeing it at all on any side of the ball, in any part of the game. And I think it has a lot to do with, look, you're down 22. It affects your mindset. It affects your attitude. It crawls into your personality. What do you do if you are the Scorpions to get yourself out of the muck you've now put yourself in?
Right now, you don't want to use the term shell shock. I would hope they're not using that term right now because you don't want to just suddenly have that feeling. There's a lot of time. They're losing 22-0, but they need to move the ball. You got to get points on the board. And clearly right now it's got to be touchdowns only. Now let's take a look at the personnel out there. You've seen things change. I believe the starting defensive line today for the Scorpions is supposed to be on the ends Sherman Jackson and Teron Finley, and the tackles David Robeck and Sione Teo. But as things have been changing, I noticed at one time during the last series you had Anderson lining up on the end, David Robeck as a tackle, the nose tackle, and then Dominic Price as one of the outside linebackers, taking him as a defensive end. And right there, another short kick, and Armand Claiborne with a solid return, and at least the Scorpions will have good field position starting at their own 49-yard line.
The 49-yard line is where it's probably the best field position for the day.
First and 10, Los Angeles, starting at their own 49-yard line.
You know, right now for the Scorpions, this is probably the best field position of the day for them. Don't forget, they had it at the 47, didn't work out. They had it at the 46, it didn't work out. So the battle of field position at this point is working in Scorpions' favor. The problem is they're not able to capitalize on it. They're not able to create opportunities on the offensive side of the ball, as Higginbotham is still the guy under center for them. I don't know that I don't understand what's going on offensively. Is there something from the mindset of Higginbotham? Can he not handle the pressure? Is the offensive line not doing their job? There's a lot of questions on the Scorpions team, but they can answer those questions with production. They can answer those questions with being able to create those first down, second and short, third and short opportunities for themselves to get back in this game. It is now 22-0, and it's slowly creeping out of control as Higginbotham decides to take in himself to the 49-yard line of the LA Scorpions, or for the SoCal Coyotes. I just have issues with the play calling situation, the play calling scenarios. What do they do? They haven't taken a strike down the field past 20 yards. So it makes you wonder what they are doing versus what they are not doing. It just makes you wonder what they are not doing. I don't know that you go away from Higginbotham right now, but at this point, what else can you do from an offensive standpoint, from a coaching standpoint? Who's going to be the guy under center? Is it Higginbotham? Who is it if it is not him?
Eventually, it wouldn't be unexpected to make a change at quarterback. But right now, the offensive line, I can see it looks as if Jonathan Holland is in at left guard. And that right there is surprising. And now you see Devin Christie losing 2 yards on the carry. Set up another third and long, this time 3rd and 10.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what that was all about.
Devin Christie on the carry for a 2-yard loss. 3rd down and 10, Scorpions.
Again, it makes you wonder exactly what the Scorpions were trying to do there. I don't think there was enough creative separation between what Devin Christie was trying to do versus where Higginbotham was under center. I think there was too much crowded space there. The play wasn't allowed to develop so much. And it makes you wonder, SoCal Coyotes' defense is real. And at this point, they've stopped them on basically every possession so far in this game.
Tough to say right now, but you can see there's some different players in there, just some strategic Wes Vickers in. And here's Higginbotham already pressured, but getting away. And I don't think that'll be grounding because he was outside of the pocket, and the ball got to the line of scrimmage. So heads up play there from Sean Higginbotham. If they do elect to punt, which I actually think they probably shouldn't. But either way, maybe you just go for a deep pass here, be the same as doing a punt as well.
Correct. It looks like Higginbotham will still stay in. And on that last play, it looked as though the receiver was in the area, so not an intentional grounding at all whatsoever. To your point, Art, it looked as though there was more than meets the eye on that particular play. Good thing that it was not.
Dominic Price in the front for the Scorpions.
It shouldn't have been thrown, but, and again, situational, players on the field. We have two players coming into the field of play a lot sooner than later, and another punt by the Scorpions with a little end-over-end action, and that will send it out at the 9-yard line. That was effective. That was the worst field position of the day for the SoCal Coyotes, and so far that was probably the best play of the day for the Scorpions. That is what you want if you're the Scorpions, is the end over end. It was a little pooch, but again, that's what they've done so far in this game. A little pooch kicks, pooch plays, and whether or not the SoCal Coyotes can find a way to get back with 5 minutes and 14 seconds left in this first half, can they run the tables and maybe make somebody miss in the Scorpions to create another opportunity to stretch this lead even further than where it is right now at 22 2-0.
Dominic Price is listed as a linebacker. You can see him play some defensive end. Now he's in there as a punter. I think he is the Scorpions' classic utility player. What position should they bring him in at next? I say put him in at fullback. I think he can lay a few blocks.
I do as well right now.
Someone out in the process.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Again, it's pressure to have this team pinned so far back. Question is, can they apply the pressure? And it is a first down. A whistle had been blown. That is a first down. That moves the chains for the Coyotes. Scorpions just out of sync, out of coverage, not in the right position to make a play to even get to that ball.
11-yard gain on the play. First and 10. SoCal.
When I look at the amount of pressure they had on the quarterback on the left-hand side, the offensive line for the Coyotes, I think, is the unwritten rule of you're almost too good to be here. And right now they're giving Evans all the field position in the world, along with all the time needed, with a dart thrown to Drake Martinez. It looked as though he just picked up a few yards on that play.
Drake Martinez on the catch for a 6-yard gain, tackle made by Aaron Cole. Second down and 4, SoCal.
Aaron Cole is everywhere on this field. He's been a part of every aspect here. And again, it was close to first down. It is second down and 3. What do the Scorpions do? What is the answer? They look winded. They've been out there almost the entire time today. And now that the clouds are out of the way, it looks more of a run situation. And the Scorpions have no answer, basically running through would-be defenders of the Scorpions. Vincent Mindoro had an opportunity, didn't get him. And now he's coming out of the game again, hobbling out, as you'll see a change with Shiloh Leafy coming in. The Coyotes are look, this offensive line is taking care of the opportunities for the SoCal Coyotes. Why? Because they're able to create enough time in the pocket for, I would think, any quarterback, along with Marinovich, who we still have not seen. I don't see him on the sidelines at all in this game, and it makes you really wonder, where is Todd Marinovich? I know we're probably wondering the same thing. You're probably wondering the same thing. It's Rudy Reyes, Art Eftekhari, right here on the LA Scorpions Radio Network at Whittier College. Come down, check out the game, check out the sites. And the side on the board is probably the most disparaging between what we had seen, or at least I heard last game against the Sharks, 22-0. Now here today against the Los Angeles Scorpions, who again,
Carl's moved in a bit, and he had Blackman maybe a little overthrown, but that could have been a great play. But right there, the Scorpions dodged a bullet.
well, they definitely dodged a bullet there. Why? Because there was pressure coming from his right side, forcing him out of the pocket. It's not as if he's horrible outside of the pocket. And I've seen Kyle run, and I think to myself, when he's out of the pocket, he's effective. He scrambles, he makes the throws. That was a little bit overthrown. So this brings up basically a very short yardage situation at 2nd and 1.
There's Carl's on the give to Peebles, and he's got plenty of space, plenty of daylight. He gets all the way to the Scorpions' 42-yard line.
I'll tell you, you could not get any better than that. Peebles is kicking rocks here, running down this field.
20-yard gain on the play, good for a SoCal first down. Valley Scorpions' 42-yard line.
He was taking tacklers with him as he was running. Huge tight end, almost a tight end size, but used in a running back in this situation behind the line of scrimmage. And it looks as though the SoCal Coyotes will take a timeout.
We have reached the 2-minute warning.
So the 2-minute warning ensues, and right now the Scorpions are very deeply winded and need to find a way to get back in this game. They need to find a way to stop Peebles, stop Martinez, apply the pressure, do it effectively. And right now, nothing is working for them. Trying to apply pressure to Michael Carls, the quarterback for the SoCal Coyotes in this game. But again, the offensive line for the Coyotes is just plain too good. They're doing everything right, very little wrong, and it just makes you wonder what answer the Coyotes have to stop them from driving down the field and getting another score.
And when you talk about playmakers on the Coyotes, we've heard Devin Blackman's name called numerous times today. Playing out of the slot, played his college football at BYU, very young university. No surprise that he's able to do what he's been doing today.
Not at all. And you also look at we were talking about Michael Carls of the Coyotes, and I think to myself, man, from coming out of a system in Midland University, makes you wonder, what do they put in the water over there for these guys? He's making it look very easy inside of the pocket, outside of the pocket. He looks comfortable as a backup quarterback here in this game, which is not his natural position at all. Even coming out of Midland University as a quarterback, there was no guarantee he was going to get a shot, but here he is.
We also even have, we heard Drake Martinez's name called, I believe, for a couple touchdowns today. He played at Michigan State. You got to looking at this roster of the SoCal Coyotes. They got talent, and they're using it. They're moving the chains and making the plays, executing.
They are executing. You have a lot of local guys here for the Los Angeles Scorpions coming out of respective local colleges, D2, D3, even an NAIA guy as well. Again, all Los Angeles native players except for one, Del Verdes, who we were talking about early in the broadcast. And right now, SoCal Coyotes are really taking it with a tiptoe catch by Devin Blackman.
Devin Blackman on the catch for a 6-yard gain. It'll be third and second down and 4, SoCal.
Devin Blackman at Brigham Young University, a guy who's tall, athletic, and can catch the ball when you need to. And where you need to throw it is where he'll be. And right now, he's making it look way too easy. Scorpions have to find an answer, have to find a way, must create stopping third down, fourth down. They have to stop them on any given down, and right now they're just not doing it.
Secondary for the Scorpions having some trouble. Everyone on the defensive side of the ball, they're doing their best. A low snap there. Carl gets rid of it quickly, but I think he might have a flag there, yes. Probably, I would say, for defensive holding, I think against
Josh Moten. Yeah, Josh Moten on the call for pass interference gives the Coyotes even better field position. That is a 15-yard penalty, sending them very close to being in red zone territory. And again, making those mental mistakes, making those mental errors will cost you. And right now, the Coyotes are not doing themselves any favors by committing those penalties.
And actually, they took the flag because the pass was deemed uncatchable. So I guess that's exactly what Josh Moten was saying.
Well, I guess it was. I didn't look at it that way. I didn't see it that way. And so fortunate to know that ball was obviously slightly overthrown to make it uncatchable, which in turn would negate the flag being thrown on the field for pass interference. So, again, a very short situation. It's 3rd and 4.
Now it's intended for Moran Wilson, actually. Let's see what they do here on 3rd down and 4. I don't think they want to bring out the field goal unit if they don't get this. And now on the handoff to Peebles, great play by the Scorpions. I think that was Vincent Mindoro there on the stop for about a 3-yard loss.
You know, you look at nimbleness from a guy.
Carry, 3-yard loss, tackle made by number 99, Vincent
Mindoro
Mindoro.
is not the fleetest of foot, but is extremely nimble. He's a nimble guy.
Timeout will be a 30-second timeout.
He knows how to get in the backfield. You can't. If you had enough conversation to talk about Mindoro alone, the guy is an impact player. He showed it on that particular play, breaking up a would-be run-through. Again, tackles at the line of scrimmage for the Scorpions have been much more effective than tackling in open field. Again, one of those things that you learn very early on in a football system, a tackle for loss. I've seen some good tackles, but a lot of those have came at the line of scrimmage. What can the Scorpions do headed into a minute 24 here in the second quarter to prevent another score or at least another first down here, Art?
Well, on what are you going to do? Sometimes you say pick your poison. Are we going to be able to put pressure, or are we just going to try and make a play by batting the ball down? Getting, putting out some more defensive backs out there. First you had, the usual 4 defensive backs, and you go to a pickle, and now you're going to a dime.
Right.
You got to do something.
Right. No, you absolutely have to do, especially something here in a situation where you can't give up this type of field position to horrible penalties.
Forward down here, Carl's on the snap out of the shotgun. He is pressured a little bit. Makes the pass. I think it should be enough. Yes, it will be enough for the first down with the forward progress. Once again, going to Devin Blackman.
Yeah, Keenan Webb on the stop right there, and it looked as though it's enough for a first down. Again, we're moving the chains. We were just talking about prevent defense.
On the pass to number 19, Devin Blackman. First down, SoCal.
I think the amount of cushion that the Scorpions corners are giving, that's a bobble snap right there. Somehow able to create opportunity, get out of it, and that ball is overthrown. The intended target there.
Incomplete pass intended for number 88, Matt Arias. It will be second down and 10 for SoCal at the Scorpions' 31-yard line.
That was very well defended. Devin Christie did his job there, but more importantly, it was just it was too high of a pass, especially when you look at how accurate Michael Kars has been in this game. Just makes you wonder, is he getting a little tired out there? A little fatigue. Halftime needs to happen a lot sooner for these guys, especially the Scorpions, as they've, like I said, have been out on the field over 3/4 of play in this game so far. I hope and I pray that the Scorpions find a way to force a pick six opportunity, tackle efficiently. I just have not seen it so far in this game. Carl's throwing it in. That is a touchdown with 40 seconds left on the clock, and it just as if it went from bad to worse, it has now gotten from bad to worse as Michael Carls just throws this perfect arrow.
31-yard touchdown pass on the play. 28-0 SoCal.
Yeah, Robert Caldwell with the tiptoe football scratch over that part of the end zone, and it looks as though they're going to go for 2. SoCal Coyotes in pure control of this game from my vantage point, and right now Coyotes just have no answer on either side of the ball to prevent this from getting out of control. But again, headed into the second half of this game with great protection by Aaron Cole to prevent that 2-point conversion from occurring.
2-point conversion is no good on the pass. Intended for Caldwell. Aaron Cole there to make the play. 28-0 SoCal.
Again, this defense has got to be tired. They have to be worn out. There is no question about it. It is hot. The clouds have moved away for the time being. You're probably looking at the upper 80s, early 90s in this game on the field as the body language for the Scorpions players look fatigued.
They really do. And earlier you were mentioning one thing. You also believe that there maybe might have been some fatigue on the part of Michael Carls, quarterback for the Coyotes. But on one of those previous plays, on the bad snap, you talked about a great offensive line. He had plenty of time to get the ball, look, and make the pass. And that right there is really indicative of how well the Coyotes' offensive line is doing. And unfortunately for the Scorpions, they were not saved by the bell.
No, there is no bell to be rung here. And, of course, if you ring one in Philadelphia, you're not going to hear it here in California. And I look at the Scorpions. Again, the body language is indicative of what that scoreboard represents at 28-0 for the Scorpions. Again, missed opportunities, missed tackles, defense missing opportunities, offense not capitalizing on field position. It makes you wonder, can the Scorpions get back in here, and can they have something here with 40.5 seconds as the Coyotes kick, probably the best kick of the day for the Coyotes, to Levant Claiborne, trying to find a way to get upfield, gets hammered down with 31 and 0.2 seconds on the clock, deep in Coyote territory. What do they do here?
You got to do something. I mean, I don't want to say just run the ball and run the clock out. I mean, you're down 28-0. Things have already gone south. You got to throw the ball downfield.
Yeah, you're right. I see a Hail Mary, or maybe Mary will catch the ball in the end zone. I don't know, but I clearly look at maybe Mary does have a better chance of catching the ball. I don't know. Could she be the intended target? All I know is I see a bunch of guys on the field that are not capitalizing on opportunities that are being given to them on either side of the ball.
And to show some credit here to the offensive line, in the previous game a couple weeks ago against the California Sharks, there were a lot of bad snaps. You haven't really seen too many of those today. So you've seen some progress there. I guess right there I thought you might have seen a false start. But Burgess, though, with the carries, for about a 12-yard gain on the play and a first down, I think the Scorpions need to burn a timeout. I mean, you might only have one left.
You have 16 seconds of counting. Darrell Burgess with a fantastic run. Best play of the game so far for the Scorpions. Darrell Burgess just running people over, taking people with him on his way down on the ground. There's a timeout called. I'll tell you, that was by far the best play for the Scorpions on that side of the ball the entire half. So, biggest question I have for the Scorpions, and we're obviously going to talk about the first half going into the second half. What is the momentum like? What is the momentum going to be? What is the mindset? Can these guys find a way to get back in this game to make this a contest? Because right now, they're falling behind. It's 28-0, SoCal Coyotes taking care of business here on the Los Angeles Scorpions radio network with Rudy Reyes and Art Eftekhari calling this color and play-by-play. And right now, we need plays. We need plays by the Scorpions with less than 6 seconds to play. Makes you wonder, are they going to go deep? And it looks like there is a 4-receiver set for the Scorpions. What do they do? Does Darrell Burgess become the man to go to? And he does, with a very good amount of blocking in front of him, enough to stop the clock with 1.8 seconds left on the clock in the first half.
5-yard gain on the run to Darrell Burgess. Second down and 5 for the Scorpions.
Just when you thought that you would see the SoCal Coyotes deviate from anything they had done in last week's game against the against the Southern California Sharks, it makes you wonder, they're picking up where they left off, and it looks as though they're on a full steam ahead in this situation.
One thing worth pointing out here that you're seeing Sione Teo back in at left guard. Definitely a plus there for the Scorpions, especially when you're talking about pass protection and, pulling a guard on the run. And here's Darrell Burgess on the pitch, maybe going to get about 2 yards, and that's how we will finish the first half.
That is the first half here, ladies and gentlemen. Rudy Reyes.
Carry for a 2-yard gain, and that is the end of the second quarter.
That is.
SoCal Coyotes 28, Los Angeles Scorpions 0.
It's really interesting, Art, as we look at the first half. There is not a lot of highlights there unless you want to count the biggest play of the game for the Scorpions on either side of the ball with Darrell Burgess with that 12-yard shake and bake to get down still on their side of the field, but still one of the best plays of the game for the Scorpions. It is now halftime, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rudy Reyes and Art Eftekhari right here on Los Angeles Scorpions Radio Network. We're talking about opportunities, Art, and there weren't enough that were capitalized. I don't know what the referee's calling here from that side of the field, but of course I can only talk on the outside. I can't talk on the inside. what he was trying to say, where he was going with this. But Art, I don't like how that first half ended if you're a Los Angeles Scorpion. What do the Scorpions really need to do? And I'm not even just talking from an athletic standpoint, not just from a football playing standpoint, but from a mental standpoint. You're down 28-0. What ways do you find mentally that needs to change in order to come out into the second half to get something on the board early and often to get back in this game.
Well, first of all, you want to have confidence. There's still 2 quarters of the play. I mean, someone watching the game that's not a fan of either team is probably going to say it looks like the Coyotes have this. You're not going to get 28 points in one possession. So you need confidence. You need to be motivated to get out there and make a play. And I think from the Scorpions' standpoint, bring out some different looks on offense and on the defensive side of the ball. They have been trying to bring out some different looks and rearranging their rearranging their personnel on the field as well. The bottom line is gotta be confident, gotta bring out some different looks, and even if it means making a change at quarterback, bringing in maybe a fullback as well to help out Daryl Burgess or even Devin Christie, or sometimes even have Christie and Burgess on the field at the same time. You gotta mix things up, you gotta shake things up. You're down by 28, you have to do something. Bottom line.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I think from a situational, I know I hate driving this home, ladies and gentlemen, but I have we have to talk about this. This is a must. We have to discuss the fact that the Scorpions are just not getting it done on either side of the ball. I look at situations where they were in 3rd and short, 2nd and short, couldn't capitalize, horrible quarterback play because of maybe ill-advised pass. Maybe the ball slipped out of his hands. There's so many miscues on the offensive side of the ball. They have the targets, just not a quarterback to basically put it in their hands, to be able to it almost looks as though at points where I've seen Higginbotham trying to dig a little bit too hard on his back foot to get the release out. And when he was trying to throw, the ball just went into the ground. It was almost as if we're playing golf here. Well, this isn't a golf tournament. I'm not a golfer. I'm not, Matt Spieth, Spieth rather. And I think to myself, there has to be something different. There has to be a change. Do they do it offensively? Do they make a change in the quarterback position to get something going here in the second half? Opportunities defensively. It's real simple. Missed tackles, missed opportunities. Not being creative enough on the defensive side of the ball to be able to disrupt the offense from doing whatever they want to do. And right now, it's exactly what they're doing. This is Rudy Reyes with Art Eftekhari right here on Los Angeles Scorpions Radio Network. We're going to take a quick break, but we will be right back to talk about the second half of the Los Angeles Scorpions taking on the SoCal Coyotes right here on Los Angeles Scorpions Radio Network. We're here at Whittier College. Come down. We have 93.5 K-Day here with Mamacita. We'll be right back.